Hello and welcome to Action Pop Dad. Today we're going to be taking a look at a few pickups I've had and some gifts I've received into the channel. It's a little bit of an update on my Star Wars on the cheap run because I'm still massively into collecting Star Wars bits and pieces at the moment. So with all that said, let's take a look.
Hello, what have we here?
So let's take a look at what I've picked up. I was in Asda today with my family, picking up a few bits and pieces when I took a walk down the toy aisle, and I saw these retro collection figures reduced to clear. They only had Lando and Leia, but they were reduced to £3.10 each, so I picked myself up a set which I intend to keep on the card, and I picked up a couple for my son Jackson, who's only 8, and he's got some vintage Star Wars figures as well as others, and he absolutely loves them already. I've had to steal them away so we can have a look for this little video, but all in all, very happy with them. I haven't got a vintage Leia to compare this to, but there's several reviews online which I'm sure you've probably already seen, and people have already pointed out what the differences are between the retro collection and the vintage toys. However, I do have a vintage Lando Calrissian. This is my vintage one. He's a bit beaten up, he's a bit yellowed. But what I have noticed, other than the different head sculpt, now I'm not sure how many variations of head sculpt there are in the vintage line because I'm not too up on my variations, but I will say that these two do have a different head sculpt, and looking at this retro collection figure, I'm not very keen on how his head sits. It looks as though there's a big gap between the head and the neck. In fact, the head looks too small.
I don't like this.
What would you like?
But either way, for £3.10, even if you were just going to buy these and whip the accessories off of them to put your vintage figures, I can't see as you can go wrong. I mean, that's not what I'm intending to do, and I'm sure there's many people out there who wouldn't like that, but it's a cheap option. And if nothing else, as I'm doing, you can pop these on display. I'm probably going to remove the stickers because I'm just not a fan of them. I know that they don't bother everyone, but they're not really for me. £12.40 for all 4 of these. So £3.10 each, as I say. How could I grumble at that? I've also had a few pickups recently on eBay. I managed to pick up this Leia Bouche helmet. I already had the figure, but I got this helmet all in for £2.75, and I thought, well, you can't go wrong with that. I have touched up the paint on it because the grey was practically gone, but for £2.75 and a couple of minutes touching up the paint, serves my collection excellently. And I also managed to pick up this Lando Calrissian skiff guard helmet, and that is perfect. There's nothing wrong with that. It was a bit more pricey. It did come in at £7 posted, but I haven't really seen many of them about. I did want to get this figure completed. I have actually got a reproduction weapon that was gifted to me by Dave from Toy Polloi. So all in all, this figure now, he is ready to go on display, and he looks great. I also picked up a Stormtrooper. He was a bit, I don't know if I'd say he was pricey, but he was £12 posted. But Stormtroopers are really expensive at the moment. I'm not sure what's going on with them. I mean, considering how many were produced, they are going for crazy money. He's a bit yellowed, the paint's a bit chipped. I can sort the paint on him. I could possibly put him through a retro bright process. In other words, chuck him in some hydrogen peroxide in the sun, and at the moment it's bright enough out there that it wouldn't take very long. But I thought, I'm going to pick him up. I chucked a bid on him, I won the bid, and it's just towards building a small troop of Stormtroopers. So I was happy with that. And another figure I picked up, and he's absolutely minty, is this removable limb C-3PO. No damage to any of his chrome or vac metallized covering, whatever it is. I'm not sure of the exact term for it, but as I say, he's minty, his limbs are stiff. I haven't even bothered popping the limbs off because they're so tight I don't want to loosen them. I'm so happy with the condition of him, and he came in at £12 posted as well. He didn't come with his little backpack you pop him in to go on Chewbacca, but one of those will show up at some point, and I already managed to make a prototype of one myself out of some vinyl, which wasn't too bad, so a few improvements I could just make my own. And the last thing I picked up, still in the baggie, is Lando's smoking pipe or bong or whatever it's called. I thought, excellent, I'm going to pick that up. That came in at £4.50. I believe that's £4.50 posted. I couldn't believe it. I thought, I'm going to have that. That's excellent, because I am actually trying to put together the complete Jabba the Hutt playset. I've got a nice Jabba. His arms are still on there, nice and firm. They haven't fallen off. And I have got the base. He's got one of the little gargoyle things on the front still. I've got another one, but I let Jackson play with this and it's vanished somewhere. So I'm sure it will show up at some point. And I need to pick up the two with the little handle on which opens up these flaps. But that will show up in time. I know I also need the table and I need Salacious Crumb. But I'm building this up as I go. As and when I see a bit for cheap, I'll pick it up and eventually that set will be nice and complete. Now on to the bits I've been sent by friends of the channel. I was very fortunate the other day to meet up with Dave from Toy Polloi, and he gifted me this lovely Bespin Luke. He was a bit wobbly at the time and he needed the paint touching up, but I've done that and I've tightened the limbs. But he came with his vintage lightsaber, and Dave believes that this is possibly a reproduction blaster, but we all know that I'm not worried about reproduction weapons. So with a little bit of work and a generous gift from Dave Toy Polloi, I have an absolutely awesome Bespin Luke. Dave also gifted me this, and it is a solid dome R2-D2. Original sticker, the click still works, and he's in really good condition. Dave said to me that he was actually restoring some vintage R2s and he had some spare parts left over on his desk, and he managed to build this complete droid for me. So I was taken aback by that and very grateful. So there's one more towards completing the first 12 in my collection. I can't wait to finish the first 12, but I have got the Sensor Scope R2-D2, but this solid dome one, do you know, I think I actually prefer him to the Sensor Scope version. But either way, I'm very pleased with those, so thank you very much, Dave, for these gifts. They are awesome. And a couple more gifts I received from Luke Reynolds from Reynolds Reviews. He sent me in a Rancor Keeper who came complete with his tea towel, shall we call it. He's a little bit beaten up and a little bit yellow, but I don't care about that. I will pick up a weapon for him, and he's great. I was very chuffed with that. Me and Luke were chatting on the phone and I said about figures I was looking for. He asked if there's any in particular I wanted. I said, I'm looking out for a Rancor Keeper and a Jawa. Well, not only did I get this Rancor Keeper off of Luke, but I got this Vinyl Cape Jawa. Now, the Vinyl Cape is a reproduction, and I have done a few paint touch-ups on his bandolier, but look at this little guy. I was so chuffed with this. I love the Jawas, and I think I really am going to have to search out a few more just to build a lovely little display of them. I think the Jawas are great characters. I know they're not for everyone, but something about them, they're just cool, aren't they? So, again, Luke, you absolute legend, and I owe you massively. So there we have it. Those are my pickups. I hope you enjoyed this little look at bits and pieces I picked up from eBay, the find I had at Asda, and the gifts I've received from friends of the channel. As I say, massive thanks to Dave from Toy Polloi. I'm sure you all know who he is. If you don't, go and subscribe to his channel and give his videos a watch. He's the best toy restorer on YouTube. He is brilliant, and he's also got a second channel now called Toy Polloi 2. So check that out and definitely give it a sub. And massive thanks to Luke Reynolds again, who's far too generous and always spoiling me with bits and pieces. Thank you for sending in these toys. If you haven't watched Reynolds Reviews, please do go and watch his videos. They're fantastic. Give his channel a like and subscribe and comment and do all the YouTubey stuff that we all ask you to do, because it does really help our channels. Luke is very much a channel based on vintage Star Wars toys, but he does have other interests in other vintage lines. He's a big fan of Mask, and well, just go look at his channel, you'll see the things he's into. But yeah, again, thank you very much for watching Action Pop Dad, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Cheers.